New details on proposed changes to the Clean Water Act could have a big impact right here along the coast.
Wetlands and streams across the country and the Carolinas could lose protection if the changes from the Trump administration take effect. Why the man who represents you in Washington supports the change and the doors it opens for the area, while environmentalists say it could make future flooding much worse.
Also at 6, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos spending the day in Florence County alongside State Superintendent of Education Molly Spearman and Congressman Tom Rice.
I spent the day with them as they toured local schools, learning about initiatives in Florence County to help students prepare for their future.
Plus team coverage of the Vice President's visit to the state capitol with Senator Tim Scott, and even more coverage from the Low Country, where lawmakers from Washington discuss plans to close the Charleston loophole.
WMBF News at 6 starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 6.
Thanks for joining us here on WMBF News at 6. I'm Meredith Heeline.
Good evening to you. I'm Eric Weisfeld. First at 6, breaking news on Sydney and Tammy Moore. WMBF News just confirmed the couple retained a new lawyer to pursue a civil lawsuit in federal court.
We just got off the phone with their new attorney, Eric Poston, who says they're taking legal action on what he calls a litany of violations, including what they say is a, quote, unbelievable amount of bad policing and investigating.
Tammy Moore was convicted in the kidnapping of Heather Elvis in October. Her husband, Sidney, is awaiting a retrial in the case.
Poston called the Moore case a, quote, modern-day lynching. He went on to say the Moores, quote, know they are innocent. It's clear to me they are innocent. It's impossible for me to think of any scenario in which they could have actually done this. They believe the truth will come out, and they are keeping their heads up.
No word yet on when they plan to file that civil suit.
WMBF News will continue to update you on this still developing story.
Let's switch gears now to your first alert forecast. And a first alert to wet weather returning tomorrow for your morning commute.
First alert meteorologist Robert Whitehurst has when the rain moves in along with those cooler temperatures. Robert.
Yeah, so basically the exact opposite of what we've dealt with this afternoon. You still got a couple of hours here, some sunny skies and warm temperatures, 75.
Right now, the Trump administration is proposing changes to the Clean Water Act, the law that protects our waterways.
WMBF News reporter Aaron Edwards took a look at how those changes impact our area and you. And Aaron, Congressman Tom Rice and Southern environmentalists don't share the same opinion on this topic.
A proposed EPA change could also impact coal ash ponds. For more on that, you can head over to our website, WMBFnews.com. Reporting in Horry County, Aaron Edwards, WMBF News.
New details at 6 on the extremely busy day across South Carolina with a handful of high-profile lawmakers and policymakers from the White House to Capitol Hill visiting to talk about a number of issues ranging from gun control to education and more. We have team coverage from across the state.
Jason Raven is in Columbia with details from Vice President Mike Pence's visit, which also featured remarks from Senator Tim Scott.
Brooke Griffin is in Charleston at Mother Emanuel AME Church, where Majority Whip Jim Clyburn spoke today with Congressman Joe Cunningham on closing the Charleston loophole.
But first, WMBF News Florence reporter Neil Watson kicks off our team coverage after spending the day with Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos as she toured local schools with Congressman Tom Rice and State Superintendent of Education Molly Spearman.
Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos says she's pleased with the opportunities and progress here in Florence County. She toured the Timminsville School District along with state and local officials before ending her visit here at the Southeastern Institute of Manufacturing and Technology. At the Timminsville School District, DeVos, along with State Superintendent Molly Spearman, Congressman Tom Rice, and South Carolina Lieutenant Governor Pamela Avett got an inside look at the school's learning initiatives. They met with students in the elementary school's STEM lab and those in the high school drone program before a closed discussion with local officials. Taken over by the state because of chronic financial instability last May, Spearman says money is now being put back into the classrooms to give students programs they didn't have before. Next stop was the Florence Darlington Tech's Southeastern Institute of Manufacturing and Technology, where they learned how the advanced manufacturing arena and virtual training classes are preparing students for growing industries.
To see the great, not only facility, but the great programming that is happening here, and to really get a good feel for what this region has to offer students of all ages, as the opportunities are very, very clear.
Spearman also mentioned the benefits of small school districts sharing resources to create more opportunities for students. She says they're currently working on a law for consolidating school districts with fewer than 1,500 students. Reporting in Florence, Nia Watson, WMBF News.
Vice President Mike Pence spent part of the day touring a church and movie theater in the middle of an opportunity zone in the Midlands. State House reporter Jason Raven joins us now from the Meeting Place Church in Richland County with more on that story. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening. Not that long ago, there wasn't much going on here, but it is slowly transforming, all thanks to a new Opportunity Zone program that supporters say is breathing life into forgotten areas. This part of northeast Richland County hasn't heard the sound of popcorn popping in years.
We stuck around because we believe in the vision of this community.
Earlier this year, Bishop Eric Freeman and the Meeting Place Church of Greater Columbia helped open the first movie theater in the area in more than a decade.
And we believe that there's tremendous opportunity right here where we stand.
This is all part of an Opportunity Zones initiative created by the tax reform bill passed in 2017. The initiative gives federal tax breaks to those looking to invest and build in these designated areas. Vice President Mike Pence visited this location and says success stories like these will only be more common across the country.
We must unlock the potential of all our people, not just some of our people. And that's what Opportunity Zones are doing right here in Columbia.
Senator Tim Scott, who spearheaded the efforts to create this, says Opportunity Zones are a game changer for these communities.
The Opportunity Zones, to me, is that olive branch of hope. It's that notion that everyone in every place at any time should be blessed with opportunities.
It's not just an investment. It is someone that has a heart for bringing back life to areas that have potential that's been overlooked.
And while this was going on here in Columbia, lawmakers were in the Low Country discussing to close the Charleston loophole. Now, Brooke Griffin continues our team coverage with more on how to close this loophole.
Mother Emanuel AME Church is known for the tragic shooting that happened almost 4 years ago. But today that sanctuary was filled with people hopeful that the Charleston loophole will soon be closed. Congressman Cunningham and Clyburn, along with Charleston Mayor Tecklenburg and former Mayor Joe Riley, spoke in support of H.R. 1112 in a town hall meeting today. That's the bipartisan bill that would change the protocol of a 3-day time frame for a background check to purchase a gun to 10 days, allowing the government more time to make sure a gun does not get into the wrong hands. There have been similar bills brought to the State House, but those were denied.
And I don't think it's so unreasonable to allow law enforcement adequate amount of time to do the necessary background checks to make sure that criminals aren't armed.
I think that this community realizes almost daily that its pain is now being experienced in community after community.
Congressman Clyburn says that he does expect that bill to be not only passed, but sent to the Senate within the next few days. In Charleston, I'm Brooke Griffin.
It's tax time, and this is the first full year we all experienced the sweeping changes to the U.S. tax code.
Overall, tax rates have gone down, so many Americans may see a smaller tax bill this year. The catch with that is everybody's situation is different, so it's hard to generalize.
We've heard from many of you wondering what's going to be different this year. Coming up at 6:14, we answer your questions so you're ready to tackle your taxes.